Hello and welcome to Strong and Balanced. My name is Pat Agostino. I'm a physical therapist here with PeopleFit. If you've never taken this type of class before, we always ask you to consult your physician or physical therapist first. For this class, you'll just need yourself, maybe a sturdy countertop or something to hold on to if you're quite unsure about your balance or have not taken this type of class before. But let's begin. We're going to start with a brief warm-up. So let's start with your feet about hips width apart. Knees are soft. That's an athletic position. Let's roll those shoulders back and pull your head right up off your shoulders. With your head up off your shoulders, we're going to rotate that neck gently in one direction. Please only do the exercises that you are comfortable doing and that you know will not cause you discomfort. Today, we're down the road. Excellent. For this exercise, you're really trying to float that head up off your shoulders. And let's reverse the direction, please. Soften those knees, belly button in, and we're going to do some arm circles in one direction, trying to keep the shoulders down as you're circling. If it bothers you to circle up at the height of your shoulders, just lower them down a smidge. And let's reverse that circle, please. All right, let's bring your feet a little bit closer, and we're just going to march in place, driving one arm and the opposite leg up. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring those feet nice and wide. Soften your knees, little arch in your back. And with your belly button in, we're going to rotate or sweep the floor from one side to the other. You're just doing a nice sweeping motion with your arms. If you can turn your head from kind of ceiling to ceiling, then you'll start to work that inner ear a little bit. And 3, 2, and 1. Let's come on back up. And now we're just going to bring the arms back and forth. If your knees don't bother you and your balance is pretty good, let's bring the arm back and one leg back. One leg back and your arms back at the same time. And we're slowly starting to bend that front knee. You're pulling yourself up with this glute muscle, so this back leg is pulling you up. That's the motion we want to do, pulling yourself up. Sometimes if you slow things down, you'll feel the muscle groups in the right directions. 3, 2, and 1. All right, from here, let's get into one of your 4 balance positions. So the easiest balance position is feet together. You can try heel to your opposite foot's big toe, one foot in front of the other, or one foot up off the floor. Get into the position that you feel comfortable with today, and we're going to rotate your head side to side. So that position should make your feet do a little bit of a dance. Maybe your hips are moving, but you're not necessarily stepping too often or grabbing onto your countertop too often. That is an appropriate balance position. And if you're not in it, if it's too challenging, you can bring your feet up an inch wider. If it is too easy, you can bring your feet into a slightly more narrow position. In 2 more head turns. And last head turn. All right, let's switch feet. Unless you had your feet together, then just leave them where they were. And from this position, we're going to look down at your toe and up towards the ceiling. Check in with your feet to make sure, 1, that they are both flat on the floor, and 2, that you have fairly even weight between left and right foot. That will definitely help you with your balance. And we're looking down towards your toe, up towards the ceiling. And two more. And one more. All right. Let's see if we could just reverse those feet a little bit. And we're going to bring your arms down by your thighs. And we're going to start to work on focusing on getting your hips to do more of the balance instead of just your ankles balancing you. So we're going to slide your hand down towards your thigh, sticking this opposite hip out. And then we're going to go the other side. And yes, you're going to probably go a little bit further one direction where your back foot is than the other, but you're just kind of reversing, coming, and you're just allowing those hips to counterbalance you. And that's kind of a good form of balance. And two more. And if that's too hard, just step forward and keep some space in between your feet to get an idea. And sometimes you'll feel a good stretch when you do that. Excellent. All right, so now let's stay in that position and clasp your hands together. Bring your thumbs up. Let's look at your right thumbnail, and you're going to rotate from one side to the other. So now we're adding a little bit of movement to your body, but what you're really thinking about is those feet, keeping those knees soft and allowing your hips to kind of balance you, right? So if I start to lose my balance, I want my hips to kind of be the focal point here. If it's super easy, maybe try lifting the foot up off the ground, which is a much harder form of exercise, or just getting into a slightly more narrow position than you were in. Let's do two more. And last one. Excellent. All right, so let's reverse your foot position. And again, you don't necessarily have to have those feet in front of each other, but we want to start to focus on getting your hands sliding down one thigh and then down the outside of the other thigh, and just getting a little bit of hip movement into this exercise. And two more. And last one. All right, so now let's get into that balanced position you were in a moment ago. Let's bring those hands up. Thumbs up. Clasp those hands. You look at that left thumbnail, and you're going to rotate from one side to the other. Why am I so focused on you looking at your thumbnail? Because it slightly takes your eyes out of the equation. It's not quite as challenging as closing your eyes, but you don't typically walk around with your eyes closed, so I like to do a little bit more real world things. Now you say, hey, I don't typically do this either. We'll have to think of a good way that you actually use this in real life. I'll take your comments in the chat box, please. In 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's shake those lights out for a moment. So those calf and ankle muscles, right, connect you to the floor. So let's bring your feet hips width apart, and let's come up onto your toes and back on your heels. Up onto your toes and back on your heels. When you come up onto those toes, let's grasp the ground with those toes, seeing if you can grab the floor. It's a great way to get those little tiny muscles that are on the bottom of your foot to work a little bit harder. Sometimes when you lose your balance and you're about to go over, it's that last little grasp that saves you. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're going to stretch out those calf muscles and maybe even your hip flexor muscles. If you're by a wall and would like to do it holding onto a wall, I'm going to step back with one foot. This back foot, I'm going to turn your toes slightly in. And then with my belly button in, I'm just going to bend my front knee. Sometimes you'll get a nice stretch in the front of your hip and maybe in the back of your calf, or you will mysteriously stop. If you're not by a wall, we will certainly do the same stretch right here. Belly button in tight and then just lower yourself by putting a little bit of a bend in the front knee. And I want some weight onto that back foot, and that's going to keep that stretch maybe into this hip a little bit. I'm going to hold this for another 15 seconds here. Excellent. All right, let's switch feet. We're doing the same exact thing. Belly button in nice and tight. No big arch in your back. We're doing what's called a posterior pelvic tilt by pulling your hips underneath you. And then we're going to bend that front knee. Very helpful for me to even look at myself doing it. I was looking, my toe is in this nice toe out position, which is stretching more of my arch than my calf. A nice straight position. And let's hold it there, please. Excellent. And let's come on back up. Shake those legs right on out. And from here, we're going to bring your feet a little bit closer to each other. And we're going to shift your weight onto that right side. And I'm going to make sure that my knees are slightly bent. And from this position, I'm going to take that left foot, slide it back just a little bit. And from there, I'm going to kick my leg out to the side and back to the floor. Okay. Now, if this is super easy, then maybe I don't bring my foot back down to the floor. Okay. And you can always hold on for these exercises. And if it's still easy for you, maybe we take your leg slightly behind you and we start to do a full leg circle back there. Now I'm working the balance muscle on the side of this hip as well as this one at the same time. And because it just looks cool. No, it doesn't. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You guys look cool. I don't look cool. All right, so let's shift on to the other side. We do the same exact thing. Leg is slightly back. And let's kick that leg out to the side and return. Kick it out and return. Or do it without bringing your foot back down to the ground. Or, third option, circling back here. Little circle, work those hip muscles. Good. Whichever one you're doing, we're going to do about 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice work. Let's shake those legs out for a moment. Great. From here, we're going to start to walk a little bit of a straight line back and forth. This is always a great one to do, like in a confined space like a hallway, or sometimes I'll do it along a countertop in case I need to grab on. But if you are free in your room, for most of you, starting with your heel to your opposite foot's big toe. And remember, what does a tightrope walker do? They're short and they use their arms, right? They're not really using their arms. What they're doing is they're unlocking their hips so they can use their hips. So what we're going to do is we're going to be a tightrope walker, and we're going to step forward and pause. Step forward and pause. It's much easier to go fast. Step forward and step forward. Now we're going to step back. And my trick to stepping back is bending my knees, keeping my foot flat, and then stepping around the back. Step back, back, and back. If it's super easy, then let's put one foot directly in front of the other by going forward, 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 and forward. I'm going about 4 steps, but if you have a shorter space or a longer space, you can go longer or shorter. Let's come on back, 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 and back. Great. So I'm going to have you do a little bit of some math homework today. I know you guys all love your math homework. We'll make it pretty easy. We're going to start at 35 and count down by sevens. I hate sevens, so that's why we're counting down by seven. So just start walking forward and back. You can do it, and at your leisure, just start to count backwards from 35 by sevens. And don't forget to go backwards. Excellent. Good. Now we do the same thing, but 39s. Let's count back from 39 by sevens, please. We'll see what you have remaining at the end. Excellent. If your remainder was 4, I applaud you. We're going to go back and forth one more time. And let's come on back. And back. Excellent. Very nice work. All right, so I think we're going to get onto the floor for the next set of exercises. If you have a mini resistance band that you'd like to use, please grab it. And these exercises can also be done in bed. So by mini resistance band, I mean this type of thing. Okay, so if you have lower back issues, if you have osteoporosis, then we're going to start on your back. If you don't have either of those things and would like to start on your stomach to do a plank exercise and your back and shoulders don't bother you, then we'll be doing that. I'll demonstrate the pelvic tilt exercise first. So if you have lower back issues or osteoporosis, you're going to be in this position. Knees are bent. You're going to gently push your lower back flat, tightening your abdominals, but allowing your legs to move. So I should be able to independently move my legs, but still keep my lower back pressed. And you hold that for about 5 seconds. If you don't, if you'd like to try a plank from here, elbows about shoulders width apart. You can either put your hands flat or clasp your hands together. Belly button is going to be in, and then you're just going to come up into a plank position. You can do it from your knees, or you can do it from your toes. You see what you're comfortable with. If you are doing a pelvic tilt exercise, remember, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back down. If you're doing a plank and you feel like you're starting to sag, bring your hips up about 2 or 3 inches. That should engage your abs. And you can come down at any time. If you do pelvic tilts, I'd like you to do 2 more, please. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's come on back down. Excellent. All right, so everyone's going to come on to their back now. We're going to do a little bit of a stretch for your lower back. Let's bring those knees and feet together. Arms out to the side. And you're going to gently, with your belly button in to protect your back, bring your knees from one side to the other. If you squeeze your feet together, you will not irritate your knees. So let's just bring it back and forth, please. And 3 more. 2, and 1. All right, from here, we're going to put on your mini resistance band. If you do not have one, the exercises are still going to be beneficial. So let's put that mini resistance band on just above your knees. Great. And from here, feet are going to be hips width apart. Your knees are going to be slightly apart. Belly buttons in, and we're either going to just do a pelvic tilt, like you were just doing, or a pelvic tilt with a bridge, lifting my hips up. So I don't have to overarch the back by coming up. I just want to come up to achieve liftoff, which will be harder on the bed. And let's try to make sure that you're pushing evenly between left and right foot, and come on back down. Come up again. I'm going to do 2 more. And back down. Last one. And come on back down. All right, we're going to come into a side lying position. I want you to flex your hips and your knees. And from this, we're going to open and close the clamshell. Good. Open and close the clamshell. So my feet are nice and light. I'm not allowing my hip to roll backwards. And we're going to do that for 3 more. 2 and 1. Excellent. From here, we're going to straighten out your legs in line with your body, and we're going to do a side leg raise. But to do the side leg raise, you're going to roll your hip forward just a hair. You're going to extend your top leg back, and then we're going to kick your toes slightly up towards the ceiling. If we do all that, hopefully you'll start to feel the exercise in the back of that hip. And let's do about 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's roll your hips slightly forward. Tap your toe down on the floor. And now we're going to drive your heel up to see if we can really work this glute muscle. I'm trying to keep my knee fairly straight with this one, so all of the energy is going into this hip. And sometimes this one can be a little uncomfortable. If you've had a hip replacement, you will certainly could skip it. But if it feels okay, maybe just do it without the resistance band. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That was excellent. All right, let's roll over onto the other side, and we're going to do those same 3 exercises, starting off with your clamshells. Good, so hands on my hips, so I'm not rolling around, and I'm opening and closing the knee, keeping my feet together. And 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right into your side leg raise. Straighten out those legs. Roll your hips slightly forward. Take that top leg and extend it back to your toes. Your top toe is touching your bottom heel. And let's kick that toe up towards the ceiling. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, you're going to roll that hip forward just a little bit. Touch your toe to the floor or your bed. And let's drive your heel up towards the ceiling with your knees pretty well straightened. and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's come right onto your back and remove that resistance band, please. And we're going to do a few hip stretches which are going to help you with your flexibility. So with your knees up and bent, let's take your left ankle and cross it over your right knee. Then we can do one of two things. Your left hand can either push that knee away, or you can reach through and grab your right thigh and bring it up towards your chest. Again, you might want to skip this one if you've had a hip replacement, but it should not bother your knee, so go nice and gentle if it is. Excellent. Let's bring both feet back down. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. And with your right hand, you're going to gently push that knee away. Or reach through, grab your left thigh, and bring your left thigh up towards your chest. Excellent. To stretch out these adductor muscles, we're going to do one of two ways today. You can either bring up both of your knees, reach between them, and pull your knees apart to get a little bit of a stretch in those groin muscles in the inside of your thighs. Or you can do a frog leg stretch, bringing your feet together and just allowing the knees to fall down towards the floor. Or if you want to get a little bit more of a stretch, the pressure from the weight of your hands can gently push your knees down